as the kids shared what they most cared about, there was a great commonality across all barriers. That was a social intervention using the arts, and that was probably the most important product of this class and the least recognized. What I saw after the migrant ed class was the real need in this community for more of that kind of programming. Through collaboration with Second Chance, Brian Contreras, and the Collaborative for Salinas Youth and the Arts Council, I was able to work with an existing collaboration at Carr Lake Community Day School. And that was particularly impactful because this was during the school day with the classroom teacher, so it was actually incorporated into the curriculum. It was an opportunity to show what a difference the arts can make in terms of academic achievement. As I began to work with seniors and those dealing with illness, loss, and grief, I found that the same art projects worked with both populations. And the arts really heal in the same way and provides the self-reflection that is so often unavailable and so badly needed.
Carr Lake Community Day School is a school for expelled students, probation place students, and actually used as an intervention for students that have behavior issues. So it's a self-contained classroom where the students are here all day long, start at 8:15, go to 3 o'clock, and I run it more or less like an academic boot camp. It's a middle school, so we have 7th and 8th graders. And my intent is to get these students to have the kind of skills, the content knowledge, but also that they will need to be successful when they go back into whatever setting they return to, hopefully a regular academic setting. And we've been very lucky here for the past several years. We've had an art program that's been supported by the Art Council that comes in twice a week. And as I said earlier, I run an academic boot camp. And this is a chance for students to, I think of as using another part of their brain and to kind of get out of the routine that we do in terms of academics, and to, for some of them, to show their strengths in another area. And it also translates over and translates back into my academic setting. The kids come here, they get sent here. They basically get kicked out into this program. And so that kind of kid is franchised and disconnected. And then you get a program like this, and it provides a hook for these students to come to school. It engages the student. It gets them involved in hands-on activity. But most importantly, it gets them creating things. It gets them to believe in the stuff that they create. I mean, Linda works with these students, and it's not just the artistic student. It's all the students. I mean, she gets them all to create and produce and start believing in their work and start looking at themselves differently. To me, I do that through the academics. I make them believe that they can get things done in terms of just learning whatever they're learning. But this is such an excellent complement to that program in that it also exercises, it gets them thinking, using another part of their brain, but also believing in other things that they can produce. More or less, they start to look at themselves differently and as a, let's say, a complete package that they can do this over here and they can also produce this kind of work. I mean, people come on into the classroom and they're just in awe of the work that's all this work's being student generated too. And the kids hear that. And also just having their work up on display. I mean, that's one of the things that I really was trying to get very good at this year. That was one of the goals that I set, is to kind of keep this constantly moving. One of the things, and Linda knows that she works with, is sometimes while they're producing the art, as soon as they put it onto the wall, other kids see it, and success breeds success, and then they start creating, and they start looking at it. And I'm not talking about copying somebody else's. I'm talking about being inspired by somebody else's work, and I see that translate over into the assignments that I give them too, academic assignments that they're doing. I see that same kind of I call it like the parlay. Now, this is an example of, to me, a transformation that took place. And through this art program, this student here, who's a good artist, but also he could be the kind of student, based on his behavior, that could be going down the wrong track, and the kind of track that could end him up in, incarcerated. And yet, well, we see him making a lot of good decisions in this class. One of the things that we do here is we try to get students to start thinking about the decisions they make and how it will impact their life. And I call it the erosion program. You just keep nudging them in the right direction, keep nudging them in the right direction. And this is a student who, through the arts and also academics, has really redirected his focus. And this was a great example when he was making this mask, is that a lot of the students were adding different kinds of things and feathers and things like this, and this student came up with this entirely on his own. He actually created this additional piece himself. Plate. He figured out how he wanted to get it attached, how he was going to do it. So I mean, you just talk about an entire self-directed artistic exploration, and he had the vision, and he pursued it, and he created really what we thought was a real special mask. And again, an example of, it's not like we're working miracles in here, but what we're hoping to do is to get kids to see that they can, in fact, change their world, but also through like little changes and little successes, and build that up so that they know, I've got other skills. I can make other choices.